And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza. And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to the intersection of business and politics right here on Robert Cardoza Live, where I do an honest and unbiased analysis of the issues confronting you today that affect the decisions that you're going to make for both your personal and your business life. I come to you every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time on Spreaker Radio, Blog Talk Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide. I also broadcast on Roar 1776 Radio and Live 365 Radio every Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. And please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com for archives of all my radio and television shows. You can also access my show live right from my website each day simply by clicking on that little icon labeled Listen Live. Email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com. That's where I get all the emails I deal with here on the show. And you can call into my show if you want to comment or just engage me in conversation about anything. Call directly into the studio at 909-545-6516. Again, that number is 909-545-6516. Now, on today's show, we're going to discuss what's in the news, new legislation the IRS loses, and I'm going to answer your emails just like I always do. Today, my expert contributor is John Hanson, a little old wine drinker. He's going to be talking about food and wine. And my special guest, John Kurth, the Wizard of Words, is going to be talking about scripting for success. And my co-host today, my grandson, Joey. Hey, Joe, how you doing, bud?
Great, how are you?
Good to have you here again. I'm excited. The whole show is going to be a surprise for you because I'm not going to tell you when I'm going to ask you anything or what I'm going to ask you or where you're going to kick in. It's just going to be you and me, babe.
Well, I like surprises.
Okay, I do too. I think it'll be great. I want everybody to know that at 4:02 p.m., or actually 4:03 p.m. Pacific Time, it is currently 88 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, it's down from 95 on its way to 65, and I can't wait till it gets to 65. But you know what? Right now, let's deal with what's in the news, and we've got a lot of news to deal with here today. So let's see how that goes for us. Let's get it started. This came in just let's see here. Well, it actually just came in today. 5 decades later, the United States and Cuba diplomatic ties are restored. The United States and Cuba restored full diplomatic relations today after more than 5 decades of frosty relations rooted in the Cold War. A new era began with little fanfare when an agreement between the two nations to resume normal ties on July the 20th, which is today, came into force just after midnight Sunday night, and the diplomatic missions of each country were upgraded from interest sections to embassies. When clock struck midnight in Washington and Havana, they tolled a new knell for policy approaches spawned and hardened over the 5 decades since President John F. Kennedy first tangled with youthful revolutionary Fidel Castro over Soviet expansion in the Americas. Without ceremony, in the pre-dawn hours, maintenance workers were to hang the Cuban flag in the lobby of the State Department alongside those of other nations for which the United States has diplomatic relations. The historic shift will be publicly memorialized later on Monday when Cuban officials formally inaugurate their embassy in Washington, and Cuba's blue, red, and white starred flag will fly for the first time since the country's severed ties in 1961. Secretary of State John Kerry will then meet his Cuban counterpart, Bruno Rodriguez, and address reporters at a joint news conference. Well, Joe, what do you think of? We haven't had diplomatic relations with Cuba for 50 years. John Kennedy was ticked off at him. He put embargoes against him, decided that he wasn't going to do anything with him anymore. And here we are 50 years later, and, President Barack Obama says, hey, you know what? 50 years just wasn't working. So let's try another way. What do you think about that?
I think it's good. I think it's good to have a relationship with Cuba.
Well, they're only 90 miles off the shores of Florida. They're close, and we've gotten nowhere with the embargoes other than to really desperately hurt the people, the citizens of Cuba that live there. Unfortunately, a lot of Cuban immigrants that live in the United States now are really opposed to this. I don't understand why they're opposed to it. I think they're still ticked off at Fidel Castro and his brother. But, this is the beginning of a better life for them. Do you know that up until today, they had no internet, they had no banking, no world banking or banking throughout the United States and other worlds, no monetary ease. They weren't able to import and export goods the way that other countries do. I think this takes you on a road to maybe they're not our friends, but at least we can be friendly instead of enemies, don't you think?
Yeah, you need to have as few enemies as you can.
Yeah, and I think it starts with talking and respect.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. This came in 28 minutes ago, Joe. Life details of Tennessee shooter emerge, but motive is elusive. Now, bits and pieces have emerged over the past few days about Mohammed Yosef Abdulaziz and his troubled life, but two significant pieces of the puzzle are missing. Why did he ambush 2 military sites, killing 4 Marines and a sailor? And was he propelled to do so by his own demons or at the direction of someone else? Until last Thursday's shooting, the Kuwait-born 24-year-old was not on the radar of terrorism investigators. However, unlike situations where a suspect is known to authorities, investigators did not have a head start. As a result, a portrait of his background, contacts, computer use, and travels must be assembled from the ground up and pieced together. He blended into everyday life in Chattanooga as a clean-cut high school wrestler who graduated from college with an engineering degree and regularly attended a local mosque. But he also had a more turbulent side, as evidenced by his arrest for drunken driving after returning from Jordan. He was set to face a judge later this month. Abdulaziz was killed in a shootout with police at a Marine Navy facility where the slain servicemen were killed. Authorities said Abdulaziz was driving a rented silver Mustang convertible, wore a vest with extra ammunition, and wielded at least 2 long guns, either rifles or shotguns and a handgun. Joe, doesn't it seem like this is more like local terrorism? It's the ISIS reaching out, right? So they keep appealing to people on the internet. They keep trying to get people to join their jihad, and the result of that is that we're seeing people pop up all over the country. This is about the 4th or 5th one in a relatively short amount of time, and there's just no way that I can think of how you stop these people. You got to think about what does that mean for the protection and security of people that live in the United States. Do we want to give up any of our freedoms so that these people are kept or barred from being able to do anything? Or do we say, no, we're not going to hide around the corner, we're not going to hide in the back alley, we're going to keep all of our freedoms, and we're just going to be on the lookout for these things that are going on and take reasonable steps to make sure that our country is safe? What do you think about that?
I think we already have begun to take reasonable steps. Twitter has deleted most, but not all, of ISIS's Twitter accounts that they were using to reach out to people in the United States.
So they can identify those?
The ones that they could identify, they deleted.
Okay, and so they're doing their best to cut all that kind of crud out, right, and make us safer. You know what? For one, I don't know about how you feel, but I don't want to give up rights. They're my rights, my constitutional rights. They're not privileges. I don't want to give them up, and I also don't want people to be in danger. But I think if we keep our eyes open and we train our police and our military properly, the FBI and all of them, then we should be relatively safe and make it difficult for these people to commit these atrocities. All right, Joe, listen, let's take a commercial break. We'll be right back after these brief messages with some more news. Do not go away. We'll be right back. If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. I'm here with my co-host, my grandson, Joey. And Joey, during the break, you were looking up I think it was Twitter, and how many accounts that Twitter has taken down for ISIS a day. And how many was that?
10,000.
So that's 10,000 just today so far, or they're taking down about 10,000 a day?
It was one day a couple of months ago, and I remember reading about it, and I went to check some facts. And on that day, they deleted 10,000 Twitter accounts.
Wow! And so you gotta believe that they're on the lookout for that, and they continuously delete these things, right?
And that's the way to protect us at home.
That is the way to protect us at home. You know what? This came in 2 hours ago, Joey. The United Nations endorses Iran's nuclear deal with 6 world powers. The United Nations Security Council today unanimously endorsed the landmark deal to rein in Iran's nuclear program and authorized measures leading to the end of United Nations sanctions, but also approved a provision that would automatically reinstate the harsh measures if Tehran reneges on its promises. European Union foreign ministers meeting in Brussels immediately followed suit, endorsing the agreement between Iran and 6 major powers and taking the first step to lift European Union sanctions. President Barack Obama told reporters he hopes the Republican-controlled U.S. Congress, where there is strong opposition to the deal, will pay attention to the broad international consensus, stressing that the deal is by far our strongest approach to ensuring that Iran does not get a nuclear weapon. But House Speaker John Boehner accused Obama of ignoring the concerns of the American people by allowing such a consequential vote to go ahead in the United Nations just 24 hours after submitting the agreement to Congress, which has 60 days to consider it. This is a bad start for a bad deal, he said. Joy, have you been following this thing at all?
Not really. I mean...
Well, let me tell you about it. This was not a negotiation that John Kerry, our Secretary of State, had alone with Iran. There was Russia and China, there was Germany, there was the Great Britain, and and France, and the United States. Those are the 6 countries that were involved in here. So they were all negotiating as one, and they came up with this nuclear deal. I've read the whole thing. It's 159 pages long. And it seems really, really tight. And I've also listened to what President Obama and Secretary John Kerry has said about it. And they've said that, you know what, we have a choice. We can either take away their ability to gain a nuclear weapon, or we can go to war. And for one, I don't want to go back to war. I don't want to send men and women back in a case like that. I don't know anybody that wants to go to war except some idiots in Washington, D.C., that I don't even know why they keep getting elected. But have you heard anything about this deal? Do you know anything about it?
I haven't heard any of the specifics of the deal, but I think that you are right. War should be a last resort in any situation.
Yeah, and if we can stop them from having a bomb for 10, 15, 25 years, and that we know if they're breaking their promises within 3 days, and we can inspect non-admitted utility or facilities within 24 days, and they can't hide anything because of the technology we have, it seems to me that we've made the world a safer place.
I believe that.
Yeah, I do too. I think that it just makes all the sense in the world, and I don't understand the politics that are getting in behind this thing. I understand that Bibi Netanyahu doesn't like it, the president of Israel or prime minister of Israel, and the thing is that he's one of these guys that would like to just go in and bomb Iran. When you do that, you have to take into consideration it's not just the bad guys you're bombing. It's the innocent people you're bombing as well. Your bombs don't know the difference between the good guys and the bad guys. And so, I don't see that as the answer. Now, I'll tell you this. If Iran were to attack Israel, we wouldn't have any choice. They are our ally. We'd be knee-deep into this thing, and Israel would be justified to go in there and do whatever they needed to eradicate Iran. And I would support that, wouldn't you?
They're our allies.
Yeah, absolutely. And they have a right to live. The problem with Iran is that they don't believe that any Jew should have the right to live. This is very much like Nazi Germany in the euthanasia that was taking place during the World War II that I know you're very familiar with. And I know that you certainly didn't support that. It's kind of the same thing. Muslims don't believe that any Jew should be able to be alive. They also don't believe any American should be alive. Anyone that's not a believer in Muhammad should not be able to live. There's something wrong with that. Well, let's talk about Donald Trump, your favorite business guy. Trump's self-paid presidential run means he's not going away. You and I went for a long walk this morning. We talked briefly about that, and I think we're back on the same thing. Donald Trump faced an avalanche of fresh criticism today for questioning John McCain's heroism, but he's getting no pressure from at all from the one community that could push a candidate out of the 2016 presidential race, and that's the political donors. The billionaire businessman is paying for his own campaign, and that means Republicans may have him around far longer than some party leaders would like. Nobody leaves a race because they get tired or because they think they don't have the votes. They leave the race because they've run out of money. Said Frank Luntz, a GOP pollster, Donald Trump will never run out of money, and that makes him incredibly powerful. Indeed, Republican operatives suggest that Trump enjoys a rare freedom. The thing about Trump that I like is that he's not bought and paid for. He can say what he feels, and it's so refreshing because nobody in Washington, D.C. acts that way anymore. They've forgotten who they work for, Joe. Maybe this is going to be a reminder of what that is. I think that can only be good. What do you think?
I think that it's good to not be bought and paid for and to be able to open up your own ideas.
Boy, I'm with you. Now, we're going to go on a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the IRS loses. The first case in this case is they can't reject papers as being late when they were on the agent's desk all the time. We'll be right back after these brief messages with my grandson Joey and the IRS loses. Don't go away. Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Oh yeah, here we are, my favorite part of the show, the IRS losers. You know, this sends chills up and down my spine, and it just sets the hair up on the back of my neck. Of course, I have no hair on the top of my head, so it's got to be the back of my neck, Joe. But anyway, let's get to this first story, and that is that the IRS loses. They cannot reject papers as being late when they were on the agent's desk all the time. Let me tell you about it. During an IRS appeals hearing, an IRS agent asked the taxpayer to submit a package of papers by July the 31st. And this was back in 2002. He didn't receive them by that date, but they were delivered on August the 8th. Now, on August the 12th, he sent out a notice rejecting the appeal because the package had been late. So they went to court. This is what the judge actually had to say about it. The package had been delayed due to a postal emergency that was taking place, and security procedures that were put into place at that time, and included a note from the Postal Service saying that was exactly the case. Now, the postmark on it needed to prove timely mailing was actually ineligible, or illegible, is what I'm trying to say. In light of that, and the fact that it was on the agent's desk when it was rejected, the appeal, it was an abuse of discretion for him to actually do so. And so the IRS courts reversed that. And that's exactly what, this just makes common sense. Unfortunately, the IRS doesn't have much common sense, and they keep dealing with these things. They want to make their own rules. It's sort of like having a football game, Joe, and in the third quarter, the referee's wanting to change the rules of the game. Can't happen. That's it. But the IRS tries to do that all the time. Here's another case the IRS lost. Tax court can hear a new evidence about an innocent spouse claim. Here's the case. A woman sought release from liability for a tax bill that her husband had incurred on his business income. Now, the IRS denied it, saying that she had known the tax was owed and she was still married to her husband when she went to the tax court. The IRS claimed the court could not consider any new evidence that the IRS hadn't already considered. This is what the court said. The tax court can always consider new evidence when determining the amount of deficiency, as it does in innocent spouse cases, to reach a judgment on the full merits rather than just the IRS record. And here, on the full merits, the wife had an especially strong case for relief, and so she gets that relief. Here's another case the IRS lost. Reporting too much income is not tax fraud. You heard it. Let me tell you about it. A woman filed late tax returns for several years in preparation for a bankruptcy filing. Now, she mistakenly included her unmarried live-in companion's income on her tax returns. The IRS then objected that she had filed false returns, so her taxes were not dischargeable. Now, this is what the bankruptcy court said. The IRS proposition that including an income on a tax return by a taxpayer which is not the taxpayer's income but someone else's is tantamount to filing a false return defies credulity. Clearly, to do so is asinine and stupid, but that is not a hallmark of any taint or of fraud, since the person who was actually harmed in this action is not the government but the taxpayer. The IRS objection is dismissed. Yes, it should be. I mean, give me a break, right? Here's another one for you. The IRS loses. They didn't prove the evidence was in a foreign country, so time ran out. Let me tell you about this one. An individual who was criminally charged with committing securities fraud and tax evasion moved to have 19 charges against him dropped because the statute of limitations had actually run out. Now, here's the government's reply to that. The limitation period had been stopped because the government was seeking to obtain evidence located in a foreign country. So they went to court. This is what the judge said. The limitations period is stopped while the government seeks such evidence if it can show the evidence probably is located abroad. But here, the government presented no evidence to support this claim, and mere assertion is not enough. So the deadline had run, and the charges are dismissed. Now, that's exactly what you'd expect to have happen. It just makes common sense. The IRS doesn't get to make their own doggone rules. They talk about being a fly on the wall. The IRS
The story you're about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
That's where we're at right now inside the IRS. So let's get right to it. Let's talk about a poorly executed estate plan that's targeted by the IRS. Now, a cautionary tale here. Professional advice was obtained in an effort to save estate tax, and as a result, a family limited partnership was formed. Now, here's the big problem. Real property was not transferred into the family limited partnership until 2 days before the taxpayer actually died. The IRS contended that the decedent had retained the current economic benefit of the assets transferred into the trust, and so the value of the real estate and other assets of that family limited partnership were therefore included in her taxable estate. Now, the best defense when setting up your own family limited partnership is this: make sure that it is established for a legitimate and significant non-tax reason. Then follow all the applicable rules for making sure that the integrity of the family limited partnership will be respected by the IRS. And the best way to do that is to use a certified public accountant or a certified tax attorney. That's what you need to do if you want to make these things happen. Now, do not go away, because when we come back from this commercial break, we're going to be talking to our own wizard of words, Mr. John Kurth, and the syntax of success. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this: the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. I'm with my co-host today, my grandson Joey, and I want you to know that at 4:33 p.m. Pacific Time, it's currently 88 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. You know what? Let's get on with the show.
And now, it's time for our Wizard of Words, John Kurth, president and founder of Syntactic Sales Scripting. He helps business owners, sales managers, and individual salespeople create winning sales scripts that win more customers. John has more than 12 years of combined international sales experience in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and the United States. Here now is our own John Kurth, the Wizard of Words, helping you obtain scripting success beyond your greatest expectations.
Hey, John, welcome welcome aboard. Good to have you with us here on this Monday afternoon. Listen, is it hot where you're at, John?
It's about 90 degrees here by the beach, so it's pretty hot.
Oh man, that is 90 degrees by the beach. Holy cow! That's
not
big.
the usual, but anyway, it's good we got some rain.
Yep. Oh yeah. You know what? We got the right kind of rain, John. It didn't soak everything and just run off. It actually soaked into the ground. Too bad we couldn't get a few months of that kind of rain.
Well, it'll be coming. So good.
So listen, what's on the agenda for today, John?
We're going to start off talking about answer times, because in a sales call, especially if it is there's multiple people in the room, your answer times matter. So when somebody asks you a question, you need to answer. Well, the thing is, why does answer times really matter? Because it impacts how truthful the person thinks you are. Now, I have to get a little deeper into this. It's not you're telling the entire truth. Of course you are. But how quickly you respond determines how the person you're talking to determines whether you're saying is truthful or less than truthful. Let me explain. See, there's several different types of ways to answer. Now, this comes to your memory. So we have both short-term memory and long-term memory. But let's go into deeper detail on it. Short-term memory, that's your instantaneous answer. You can answer it automatically. You ask somebody what's their phone number, that's in short-term memory. That's a logical fact. They can just answer it right away. Where's your address? They can answer it right away. That's the logical side of an instant answer. That's in short-term memory. There's also highly emotional episodes. These are flashbulb types of episodes that because of a tremendous amount of emotion, you can recall it right away, like where you met your spouse or something like that. If it has a very high emotional content, whether it's positive or negative, you can recall it almost instantly. That's the norm. However, when you're in a sales presentation, you're oftentimes asked questions that require your long-term memory. But this is, what we're talking about is your calculated answers. You're just not going to have them right away on the tip of your tongue.
So, John, are you saying that your ability to answer these questions on a timely manner actually indicates your professionalism and your aptitude for the sale?
Some people think that way. I mean, if you're asking somebody a question that they really need to think about and they're having to answer, it's taking them longer than a usual amount of time, the person may think that you're not telling the truth. It's just the nature of the response time. So you're definitely going to be sharing the truth and being truthful. But the perception is the longer you respond, the less truthful your response is considered by the potential customer. It's very, very serious, and that's why we're going into it, because when you're dealing with long-term memory, sometimes people can ask you a question that's a very similar situation to something you dealt with in the past. Well, this is pattern recognition. You're looking for patterns, but you're looking for a close enough pattern in your mind to the question that the potential customer asked you, and then you're taking that information, seeing how close it fits, and then making the adjustments to properly respond. That's all true. The thing is, it's taking you additional time with which to access those mental data banks to find the similar pattern. And sometimes you can get a question that's so far out from left field that it requires a lot of imagination. Here's what I mean by imagination. It's not so much that you're making the answer up, but you really have to dig deep in your mental data banks to find it. Well, from the short-term instantaneous answer to the pattern recognition and the imagination, the long-term memory, those take the longest time to respond. And unfortunately, the person on the other side of the table may think you're less than truthful the longer you wait. So here's what we need to do about it. is when you're getting some of the toughest questions that you get from a potential customer. Maybe it is, what makes you different than your competitors? Why should we do business with you? Those types of tough questions, you need to script out your response, keep them to 45 seconds about. You must answer it directly. These responses cannot be evasive or indirect. You got to be able to answer them effectively. And the total duration of the answer, that is your response time when you're explaining it, not more than 45 seconds. But then you have to practice these tough questions 10 to 20 times, so now they go from long-term memory into your short-term memory. And then when the person asks you the question, what makes you different than your competitors? Boom. It's right on the tip of your tongue, and you can answer it effectively. If, just use an example, if the person say, what makes you different than your competitor, and a newer salesperson is really having to think about it and then craft their answer slowly, deliberately, the person on the other end of the sale might think, oh, they're just a rookie. They don't really know what they're talking about. Or they're actually being untruthful. So this is why this is so important. Now, if you're going into a sales call, and at the end of that, you're getting a tough question that you haven't heard before, of course, do your best. But once the sales call is over, write down that really tough question that you got asked, and then script it out, become it, practice it 10 to 20 times so it's right in your instant memory. If you're a sales manager, this is a fun game you can play with your team. It's called quick answer volleyball or objection handling volleyball. So the sales manager acts like the referee and throws like a small ping pong ball to one of the salespeople and says, I need to think about it. Classical objection. Well, that salesperson needs to answer within an appropriate amount of time. If they do, they get to throw the ping pong ball to another sales professional and ask a different question. Well, I need to think about it. All right, now it goes around and around, and the people who don't respond quickly enough are out. At the end, everybody can benefit from it, and you can hear just how you needed to respond. This was years ago with one of my sales manager. I was relatively new to the company. I'd only been there for about 3 or 4 weeks, but I had scripted out my responses to these objections and these tough questions. And we went through that objection handling volleyball that way to make sure you had the quick enough response time. And at the end of that, it was the most senior salesperson and me going back and forth like a tennis match. And the sales manager says, okay, look, John, you and the other person, you win. But then he turned to all the salespeople, both senior and newer, you need to know these responses like these two sales pros. So I wanted to get very deep with you on this, Robert, because your response time does impact your perceived truthfulness. Another thing is, for example, if you ask somebody a question, a tough question, and they're a visual thinker, their eyes will look up and to the left. Well, a person may misinterpret that, oh, they're not making eye contact with me. They must be lying. Or someone who's very kinesthetic, you ask them a question, who look down. Well, if someone says, look at me when I'm talking to you, they're looking down to access their own memory. That's how they do it. A kinesthetic thinker does. So you must take these from your calculated answer, your long-term memory, and then move them into the short-term memory. Robert, Joey, any questions?
That's something, that I do. Well, I guess I still do it, but I used to do it quite often. When I was with the Revlon Corporation, John, I used to watch the body language of the officers that I was talking to all the time. It gave me an idea of how receptive they were being to the presentation that I was making, and I was very much aware of my body language and the fact that it could set the thing off. And the truth is that if I had looked to the left or looked up into the sky or down at the floor, it was either an indication that I was either lying or I was looking for some kind of of a story to make up to cover whatever the question was going to be, and that it wasn't going to be factual. And, so you hit the nail right on the head when you're dealing with that. I don't know how about in school, Joey? Do they ever talk to you about keeping eye contact and looking when you're talking to somebody?
We took a careers class, and they talked about that. They talked about firm handshakes and things like that. But that was the most they got into eye contact and things like that.
So I don't know if I'm taking too much of your time here, John, that you got prepared. But, boy, I'll tell you, it's really seriously important because your ability to know your product and know the people that you're talking to and how they're going to use your product or your service is just invaluable. You've got to be able to just go with that flow and be the expert in the room. And if you're not, then you've got a pretty good chance of not making that sale.
Right. And the other part of it, everything is about congruence. If something is not congruent, the person is not answering quickly enough, or they're not making eye contact, or their body language is off. All those things, if they're off, are not congruent. And the more things that are not congruent, the person feels, often they can't put their finger off on it, something just didn't seem right. That response, something didn't seem right or feel right, is a response that something was incongruent, and thus they didn't make the buying decision. So that's why everything we filter through with your language, your body language, how quickly you respond, the scripting language you use, your knowledge of your product or service, all that has to be congruent. The more congruent you are, the more likely you're going to get the sale. It's all about congruency. It's fundamental to the whole process.
No, you give actual classes. I know you do in the syntax of success or for success. And do you deal with all these things in those classes, John?
Yes, at my one-day workshops, definitely. I get very deep into these various components. I mean, it's great to share these in snippets with your listeners, but then on a bigger stage, when I have several hours, then we can construct it as an entire whole. That's why the name of the company is Syntactics, Sales Scripting. Syntactics means to compose and arrange. It's like you're a composer in front of an orchestra. You have to compose it to get the results, and that's why anything that may be a bit off, that's seen as incongruent, may ultimately undermine the sale. I mean, you've had experiences, Robert, I'm sure, where you felt, it was a multiple sale. You felt it was in the bag. And then something either someone else on your team said or did, and it kind of unraveled from there. It happened from time to time, even to sales pros like us.
So let me ask you this before we have to go on this break. Do you, when you're in your workshops, do you actually do role playing so these people can learn what it is you're trying to describe?
Absolutely. Role play is key. So if you'd like to learn a little more about how to make your scripts more effective, you can give me a call for a free consultation here at 949-391-3876. That's 949-391-3876. Robert, Joey, I'll hand it off to you.
All right, and we're talking to our own John Kurt, that wizard of words, and he truly is. Now, don't go away. He's got more words of wisdom waiting for us right after this commercial break. So we'll be right back. Don't go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay a great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own wizard of words, Mr. John Kurth with the Syntax of Success. You know, John, one of the things I wanted to ask you, and I know you've got something all planned out and ready to go, but I wanted to talk a little bit about your business and the fact that you do these workshops. And are they generally a weekend? Are they generally a number of weekends? Are they a whole week? How do they generally run?
They're usually, I start off with a one-day workshop. That's on a Saturday here in the Southland. And then after that, people may come to a 2-day workshop because they're small, 20 to 25 people, because they need to have that more of a one-on-one coaching type of situation. But then we were able to customize the scripts for them and their particular industry. Because I can write a great script, but if it doesn't feel right to you, you're not going to use it, and then you're winging it again. So it's so important to have the script customized the way your unique selling style, as well as to how your particular industry runs.
And then the people that attend these workshops, do you get feedback from them? Are they generally they hit the ground running, or does it take a little bit of practice before they're actually maneuvering through what you've taught them?
No, they can hit the ground running very quickly because that's why it is a workshop. We're applying it directly to their particular situation. That's why when I talk to people, say, look, you can call me for a complimentary consultation like I do on the calls here on the radio program, is because now we can then start customizing it to that particular person's industry. Because I'm not sure what type of person is going to be listening, I'm focusing on more of a 20,000-foot level, but then we need to really customize it to their particular industry. And then as long as you apply it, you're going to get the results.
Yeah, that's invaluable, absolutely invaluable. You know, the truth is way back when I was, working hard on my career, they didn't really have these kinds of seminars. They did have people that would go out and talk to you from time to time, or they would do public speaking, but they were kind of few and far between. They had a handful of people that were doing that, but they didn't have somebody who would actually come in and tailor it right to you.
Yep, well, it's great these resources are available.
Yep.
So what I would like to talk on is the structure of the sales call close.
Go for it.
See, there's both structure and content. As long as you get the structure right, then you can focus on the content. So let's focus on, that's why I spend so much time on these calls, getting to the deep underlying structures of the language, the underlying structures of the process, because once you get that right, then you can then craft the language that you need, craft the content to your unique selling style and to what product you're selling, and then you're going to get the results. So let's talk about your primary closing strategy. All right, there's 3 parts of the sales call close. Part 1 is your primary closing strategy. Then you have your fallback positions, and then you've got your delivery techniques. I'll go through each in turn. Because once you understand the structure of a sales call close and the underlying structures, now you have flexibility. You have the flexibility to customize it to your particular client and also your particular selling style. So what are the core components of your primary closing strategy? They fall into 3 categories. One is not better than the other. There's what's called a command, that's a hard close. There's a medium close, which is a more of a suggestion in the foreground of the person's mind. And then there's the soft close, more of a background suggestion. I'll give you examples of each. The important thing is, in each sales call, you need to know what your primary objective is and your secondary. Maybe if the first objective is to get a sale, but if you can't get that, what's your secondary, your fallback position? Is it to get a referral or get referrals? So whether it could be to set an appointment, maybe that's your primary objective, set an appointment this week. Well, your fallback position might be schedule an appointment the following week. So you need to know what your primary objective is, outcome-based thinking, and what your fallback position or your secondary outcome. That itself is going to give you a lot more power in the process. So let's talk about examples of hard closing language, medium close, and soft close, and then we'll explain how you can use that more effectively. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. So a hard close could be, sign up now. Okay, it's very direct. A medium close, let's get you signed up. A little softer, let's get you signed up, okay? A soft close, Mary Smith signed up, you should too. Here's another example of that. A hard close, say I'm riding with you in your car and I think you're driving too fast. So the direct command is slow down. I think you're driving too fast, slow down. That's a hard close, direct command. A medium close, which is more of the foreground, would be, you know the speed limit here is 45 miles an hour, and the police ticket a lot of speeders here. Ooh, okay. I'm still getting the action. And then a third, a softest close, would be something like this. A speeder was in a horrible accident here last week at this exact spot. See, all 3 could get you the result you're looking for. So it's important to know that you got the choice. You've got a hard close, a medium close, and a soft close. Now, a hard close is just really being direct. If you feel you've developed enough trust and rapport with them and built enough value in your presentation, let's get you sign up now, all right? Or let's get you started today. It's okay to be direct. If you've built, because people secretly want to make a good buying decision. Making decisions are sometimes anxiety-provoking for people. So if you've got that sense of confidence, let's sign up now. Okay, sign up. So there's 3 different ways, and the nice thing about that, from hard close, medium close, soft close, you have flexibility. If you know your particular client would not do well with a hard close, then don't use it. Use one of the other 2. If the person is a CEO, maybe hard charging, maybe it's okay to be direct. Maybe they'll appreciate that. So after you've got your primary closing strategy, then you identify your fallback positions. So this is your second choice, and then your second outcome, then how do you close for that? So say you asked for the business. Your primary closing strategy was ask for the business. You did a hard close. And they said no. Okay. You asked them questions. They're still like, no, I'm not going to do it. Well, now your fallback position is to ask for referrals, but you may want to use a softer, a medium close, or a softer close. In this case would be, one of the ways, have you received value from our time today? The person's going to say yes. One of the ways I work with by referrals, a good referral for me, you educate them. Why would who would be a good referral for me? So now you have a secondary fallback position and using one of the different closing techniques to achieve that fallback position that you're looking for. And then let's talk about the delivery technique. Now, there's a couple ways you can use this. Of course, delivery is also in the language and the tonality. But let's talk about different delivery techniques. There's a time-based technique. These are deadlines. Deadlines increase urgency to make a decision. You don't want people to stall or delay. So you can use urgency on that. So it could be something, the offer's good until tomorrow. That's a time-based technique. But you got to be willing to use it because that adds a little more urgency for the person to make a buying decision. Another way is to link things, linkage. This technique connects different events or ideas. So you're linking two things. Maybe they want to get you a better deal. Well, if I talk it over with my boss and he approves, will you sign the contract? Okay. So you're linking it. So there's a linkage part of the delivery method. And there's also a power of print. This is great in the real estate business. It's called an order form close. The information's filled out towards the end, and then the real estate agent just hands the document over to the person who wants to use as a listing presentation. All I need is your autograph here, and I can become your listing agent. So the delivery method can be simple as paper. But again, if you're going to be doing a delivery method close with the power of print, then it is, I just need your autograph here. People laugh. I've never had anybody ask for my autograph before. You're not going to say, well, I need your signature here, because then people get all concerned. Oh my gosh, he's asking for my signature. So these are some important things. So once you focus on the structure of your sales call close, now you have the power and you have the flexibility with which to then adjust your presentation and your close to the type of person you're speaking with. Also, with the types of people, if it's a multiple decision-making process. The CEO is a little more hard-charging, a little more direct. You can be more direct with them. If maybe the HR manager, he is a little more soft-spoken, then you can do it another way. So that's why I focus so much on the structure of the presentation, because once you have it, that gives you the ultimate flexibility. And the person who has the most flexibility controls the outcome 9 times out of 10. So I really wanted to focus deeper on that. Robert, any questions?
Well, the truth is everything you've talked about, while it's invaluable for business, you could actually use those same concepts in your personal life. And I think that that's really important too.
Yep, because we're dealing with language, and scripts is all about language. What are we doing? Script is words in sequence that have meaning. So definitely apply this language to your next sales call. Absolutely. But you can also apply it in your personal life because we're all communicating. So this is one of the things, sometimes I get very deep into the structure because then you've got the power with which to get the results you're looking for. So very, very exciting material. So I'm glad to share it. Now, sometimes people may feel, look, well, I just can't do a hard close. That's okay. That's fine. That's not your selling style. So make sure you focus on getting even better with your medium close and your soft close.
That 909 number, like 510, 512.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
You're live on the air. You got to shut down what you're doing. You're interrupting our broadcast.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
All right, there's two Johns. So this is John at Syntactic Sales Scripting. So what I'm doing, I guess there must be another John on the air soon. So that's why just get comfortable with your own unique selling style, and then we'll language it accordingly. And once you have that, your unique selling style with the language of your industry and the benefits-driven language and the structure and the content, once you have all that, then you're able to close sale after sale. And really, it's all about winning customers. You follow these techniques, and you're going to win the customers you need to help keep your business growing. So If you like a personal complimentary consultation how to customize these techniques for your language and your unique selling style, give me a call here at 949-391-3876. That's 949-391-3876. Robert?
Hey, John, this was actually invaluable. It was really terrific. And you know what? And the fact that John Hanson wanted to get involved in it, that's not a bad thing either.
No, it's not.
John's going to be talking about food and wine right after these few messages. Have a great week, John. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, bye, Robert. Bye, Joey.
Bye-bye. Now, do not go away, because coming up next, he's actually already been on the air. He just had forgotten that he was on the air. Our own John Hanson, that little old wine drinker, going to be with us talking about food and wine after these brief messages. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. I'm here with my co-host, my grandson Joey, and at 5:08 p.m. Pacific time, it's currently 88 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, you know what? Let's get on with the show.
Yes, who's a fool in the corner? Crying, I say, a little old wine drinker me.
And now, from the middle of a vineyard somewhere, a man who's never met a grape he couldn't cuddle up to, our resident advanced sommelier, John Hanson.
Hey, John, you're looking for extra airtime today, I see.
No, our mixologist, Joey, called. I'm going to have him on, of course. Summer is here, buddy, and we're going to talk about summer drinks and so forth, but we'll put him on the second segment. But he called up in the middle when I came on the air. Well, actually, I called in, and He called me to ask what time he had to come on, so I apologize for that, buddy.
Well, you know what? Here's the good news. The good news is that if he's calling you, Joey's not with you, which means that he can't be practicing that mixology, because I would be so disappointed that the two of you would be practicing that without me.
Yes, it would. And I, Bob, I did miss you for lunch today. Maybe next Monday we can do that.
You know what? Yeah, we'll try for next Monday. I had software updates that I had to get in here, John, that were just critical, and so I just knew I wasn't going to get done. Matter of fact, I didn't get done with it until right around 2:15 or so.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, you're right there, so you're okay.
It's every time a new station or a new technology comes into here, we've got to put that when they update theirs, we have to update ours for theirs on the syndication, and that's what screwed everything up.
Well, we're ready to go, and before we bring Joey on, and we want to talk, we're in the summer, although we just had some great rain that we really needed. Mm-hmm. But I think the rain's going to go away, and it's just going to be nice and sunny, and we're in summer, so we're going to talk about summer wines, summer drinks. But before we get into that, Bob, last week we talked about the Quartermaster Sommeliers, how we do our grid, where we taste every wine, and the question that came up.
Well, you know what? Before you go there, you've got Joey calling into the studio, not calling into you, right?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
okay, that's great. That way I'll be looking for him.
Yeah, I told him to call in the second segment, so he should be calling in any minute now, but we'll put him on the second segment. So, but when we were talking about the grid, Bob, I kind of rushed through the initial conclusion and the final conclusion because we ran out of time. I thought I had another segment to go, but we didn't. So I apologize to the listeners, and basically the question that came up is basically, how do you know if the wine is good? And we talked about the sight, the nose, the palate, and so forth, and we rushed through the initial conclusion, the final conclusion. But basically, you look at the sight, you get the nose and the palate, and what you get on the palate and the nose, you bring down to the final initial conclusion and then the final conclusion. But on the initial conclusion, we talked about if it's old world, new world, and it's old world if you get, if it's more earth, terroir, and so forth coming through. And it's new world if it's just fruit coming through. Now, we talk about the climate, and you get that in the sights, the palate and the nose as well, the grape variety and the age. But when you get down to the final conclusion, you have it down to about 4 different possible varietals. And then through the process, you give your best educated guess what it possibly can be. And then you do the country, the region, and the palate, and the quality level. And what we mean by quality level is that if it's, say, Burgundy, is it Grand Cru, Premier Cru, or what? Is it first growth, second growth, third growth if we're in Bordeaux? And when we talk about long finish, I mean, if you taste a wine and 2 minutes after you taste it, if it's still on your palate, that is a long finish. That is just an incredible wine. But is the wine one-dimensional? I mean, is it just this big fruit bomb and then that's all it is? Or do you get layers? I mean, do you get something at front and something mid-palate, something after palate, and it just goes on and on and on? That basically tells if it's a quality wine and the vintage. So the question I was asked, how do you know if a wine is good? Basically, you go through that process, and at the end, if the wine has layers, has structure, has that long finish, that's how you know the wine is a quality wine. And for the person out there that asked that question, I do apologize that I did rush through the initial conclusion and the final conclusion. And that's how we tell that a wine is amazing. And, what's fun is that you find a bottle of wine that's like $30, $40 that has that long finish, the layers, the structure, the quality, and so forth, the complexity of the wine. For that price range, instead of paying $200, $300, $400, $500 a bottle, that's what we love. Where we can find something like that, and I apologize to the guests. We kind of rushed through it last time, but we can spend days and days on each little segment of this tasting grid. But I just want to kind of just capture that in a nutshell, and that's how we taste, and that's how we determine if a wine is good or bad or whatever. But, Bob, this segment we're going to dedicate to the summer because the rains are gone, unfortunately. I wish it could rain another couple of days, but it looks like the rains are out there, and we're just going to have nice sunny days on for probably the next couple of months. And we're going to go over what are great summer wines, and we're going to bring our mixologist and Joey and some great summer drinks as well.
Well, it's when you were talking about long finishes and short finishes, the fact that it's a long finish or a short finish doesn't mean that it's not a good wine, does it? It just means it's a little different. It could still be a good wine and have a short finish, right?
Well, it depends what the varietal is, what the wine is, and so forth. But with wine, you want to have structure. You want to have layers where you're tasting something up front and then it goes to something else. And I mean, as I said, when you taste the wine and 2 minutes later you're still tasting this wine, that is an incredible wine. That's what you get from Premier Cru, Grand Crus especially, First Growth and great Cabernets out of Napa Valley. I mean, the finish just keeps going and going and going, and you keep getting different nuances off the wine. So, John,
when you're talking about a long finish wine, it's because the buds, the taste buds in your mouth, they actually the ones up front taste one thing, and the ones in the middle and the sides taste something else, and the ones in the back taste something else. And so that long finish wine it's as that wine kind of travels on back to your throat, right?
Exactly. I wish if you ever get a chance, I went to George Riedel, a Riedel tasting, and the Riedel glasses they're somewhat expensive. I tell you, get some of these Riedel glasses. They actually put the same wine in a regular glass and a Riedel glass, and the difference in the taste of the wine. They poured the same wine. If I didn't see it myself, I would say it was two totally different wines. It's crazy. Because Riedel, it's cut where it puts it on the palate where you should have it. And I don't know the actual, logic to it. But, I would love to have Joe and mention how we do this. But it's incredible where you need the right glass.
Okay, hang on a second, John. Joey, you're making too doggone much noise. Can you keep it quiet on your end of the line for a minute or two? Joey?
Sure. Yeah, how you doing?
Okay, I need you to stay quiet for a minute or two. You and John must be cutting it from the same phone, for Pete's sake. You're live on the phone making all that rack.
No problem. I'm not making any noise, but it's okay.
So, hey, you know what, John? Let's go for an early commercial, and then we'll come back with Joey. How's that sound?
Let's do some summer cocktails. How's that?
Okay, we'll be right back with John Hansen and Joey the mixologist right after these brief messages. Do not go away. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. You know what? I think we need to give both of these guys a proper entrance in here. Even doing the commercials, they keep making noise. Let's get them in here. Talking to my good buddy John Hanson, that little old wine drinker, and his special guest Joey, the mixologist. Joey wanted to talk so bad, he was doing it during the commercials, he was doing it during John's performance. Joey, now is your chance.
Joey, you there?
You know what? Yes, I'm here. Hello, how are you guys doing? You know what? I was so excited to talk about these cocktails. Believe me, I want to start right away, so I'm sorry if I cut you off, Johnny.
Joey, you're fine, buddy. You're fine. Hey, Joey, it's summertime, and thank you so much for coming on the show. But tell us, what are some great summertime drinks that you can have, like by the pool, or just sit outside and relax to? Give us like your top 6 summertime drinks.
You know what? We got a nice cocktails now during the summer, citrus, sweet and delicious with pineapple juice, a little bit of X-Fusion, coconut rum, Parabay, a little bit of strawberry and pineapple juice. You shake it, I'm telling you, it's delicious. It's one of those cocktails that you make and tastes delicious, Johnny, by the pool.
Now, Joey, that's like a sweeter cocktail. For those are like sweet cocktails, correct?
Yes, they are. They're very sweet cocktails, and I tell you what, they're crazy delicious.
And it's called the Napa Passion, I believe, correct?
The Napa Passion, correct.
What else you got for us, Joey?
Well, we got another one called, it's Summer Kiss, which is made with gin base, has Saint Germain, a little bit of Cointreau, lemon juice, and also cocktail that is nice, tastes delicious, citrus, and sweet, and also cocktail that you really enjoy by the pool. And also we have the pina colada with a little bit of, we call it a strawberry colada with a little bit of strawberry and regular pina colada on top made with rum, dark rum, and also it's a good, refreshing cocktail that you enjoy by the pool.
Now, Joe, we're talking like blended drinks, correct? That you actually put in a blender and blend it up with ice so it's nice and cold and refreshing?
The one that you do a blender is the one, the pina colada. And some of the in some of the hotels, they call it piña colada because they have the strawberry syrup in it. And that's the reason they call it colada, because they got the strawberry, delicious, fresh and sweet. And it's a nice looking cocktail. Good looking cocktail that you look the cocktail, you goes, wow, that's something I want to have today. And it tastes delicious.
So say I want to sit by the pool, but I don't like sweet cocktails. What can I get that's not sweet but refreshing, and it's awesome for a nice summer day sitting by the pool? What cocktail can I have?
Well, we also have the margarita. They have cucumber margarita, a little bit of cucumber, a little bit of jalapeno, agave nectar, and a regular tequila with a little bit of cumbia. Now it's another cocktail that also you really enjoy by the pool, and it's refreshing. And once again, by the summertime by the pool, it's delicious too, Johnny. And you're going to enjoy it, like I say.
Hey, Joey, this is Bob. I wanted to ask you a question. What, by far, is the most popular kind of cocktails? I mean, I drink, my stuff pretty much neat. But is the most popular cocktails the sweeter cocktails, the more light, refreshing ones?
Well, now that can be a nice daiquiri. Can you have a daiquiri margarita or banana daiquiri? You can do it also too, like neat.
The question is are banana daiquiris, strawberry daiquiris, pina coladas, because they're kind of sweet drinks, are they more popular than the old standard drinks? The martinis, Manhattans, that kind of stuff.
No. Those cocktails, they're classic cocktails that a lot of guests love to have those. They're still, popular. They're still, the guests want it, and because they want now, even the summertime, they still want the refreshing, the sweetness, and they're still good cocktails.
Yeah, but Joey, what about like the Mai Tais and all those that you usually get in tropical islands? Like you talk about the strawberry daiquiris, the pina coladas, the Mai Tais and so forth. But you also mentioned cucumber, and what I see is becoming very popular is like you talk about jalapenos and cucumbers and so forth, and that's why I see what is starting to become very popular for the summertime. You got that the refreshing cucumber, but you also have a little heat there with the jalapenos and so forth. And a lot of those drinks are starting to become very popular. Is that what the summer's about now? Is it starting to turn to this instead of the sweet stuff to like refreshing cucumber and maybe a little heat with the jalapenos?
Well, yeah, Johnny, it's one of the things that the guests always want, something sweet. And a little bit of cucumber they give you the refreshiness, and the jalapeno give you the heat, the spiciness of the cocktail. And you know what? I'll tell you what, I'm making so many of those in the restaurant that I work, they are delicious. I got a lot of guests coming back for the same cocktail because during the summer, that's what they want, because it's hot outside. They want something refreshing. And guess what? Cucumber is refreshing. The jalapenos has a little bit of spice in it, and they love it.
Let me take you to like the South. Like the South, you got mint juleps and so forth. What about mint drinks? Are they popular in the summer as well?
Well, yes, absolutely. You're right. I forgot about the mint julep, Johnny. It's one of those cocktails that you make. Don't forget the mojito. We got the strawberry mojito. We got the piña mojito. We got the mango mojito. We have those mojitos that you can make all those refreshing mojito cocktails with the mint, and the manjula, which is now the refreshing with its brown sugar. You got the bourbon in it. You got the lime in it, and also the simple syrup that goes in there. I'm telling you, it's one of those so popular, those cocktails. But the one thing is very popular right now is the regular mojito with mint, lime juice, simple syrup, and a lime juice, and a rum.
Is there ginger beer in the mojito?
No, it's not. No, ginger beer is not in the mojito. But if you're interested, we also have the Moscow Mule. They have the vodka spirit in it. You got the simple syrup. You got the lime juice. Johnny, you just make me feel like I want to have a Moscow Mule right now because it's not. It's hot right now. It's hot. It's kind of cold. Well, I think
Joey, I was out in Arizona where it was 107, and my friends that we went out to see, instead of doing a Moscow Mule, instead of vodka, they put tequila in it, and with the ginger beer and the lime and so forth. And I tell you, sitting at the pool at 107 degrees with this drink in a copper cup. Now, copper holds the heat or coolness. And I tell you, it's so refreshing and it's so cold when you get the ice in the copper cup because it's a conductor and it keeps it cold. And I don't know, is there a name for that? I guess it's almost like a margarita if you put tequila in a Moscow Mule, I guess.
Well, you know what? You can say tequila mule, which is a Mexican mule. You got the Moscow Mule is from Moscow, right? Which is made with vodka. So you can use you can use any name, and the bartender, especially in the place that I work, you can name it Mexican Mule, Moscow Mule, Kentucky Mule. You can make it anything with the copper cup, and you make it with the lime juice. Simple, sir. The copper cup, it makes the refreshing of the cocktail because it keeps it nice and cool, and it tastes different with the copper cup with a regular cup. That's why there's a copper in it, and it makes it delicious, refreshing. And I tell you what.
So, Joey, are you saying that if you use a copper cup, it would taste different than if it was in a glass cup?
Absolutely. 100%, because the copper keep the cocktail refreshing, and to keep it with the material of the copper. That's the reason they use the copper cup, because they keep the cocktail refreshing and tastes delicious.
Cool, exactly.
Something to do with the copper.
Exactly. Joey, we're gonna put you on. I mean, we're getting close to our break, so we're gonna put you on the line here and give us. Every week we try to do like the wine pick of the week. Well, we're gonna put you, up there and say, hey, give us the cocktail of the week for summer. What is your best cocktail for the summer before we go on break?
Of course, absolutely. It'd be my pleasure to. Why not? I have one. I got 3 for you, Johnny.
Okay, give us 3.
Sounds good. Actually, I'm gonna start making one right now. Because I'll tell you
you need to make 3, not 1.
Well, you know what? I make one for Johnny and one for you. Okay? What do you think about that?
That sounds a lot better.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So
make 1. I can't make 1.
Joey, make a bunch for all of us.
All right, I'll make a dozen of those. All right, sounds good. Whatever you guys want, I'm here for you. I'll make you happy. Whatever you like.
Joey, but give us a cocktail, your favorite cocktail for the summer. What is it?
Well, you know what? Don't forget right now. One of my favorites right now that we are crazy to make those cocktails right now. We have the summer kiss right now. It's because you got the jalapeno and the cucumber, and I tell you what, that is refreshing. And it's made with Henrik's gin. Mm-hmm. It has the Combier, and they have Saint Germain with the lemon juice.
Hendrick's gin with Saint Germain and lemon juice.
Yes, and you know what? The Saint Germain, we use Saint Germain is like the chef use ketchup for everything. You know why? Because the Saint Germain is sweet and it goes well with anything. With vodka, it goes to gin. It goes with bourbon. Goes with anything.
What is Saint Germain?
Yes.
What is Saint Germain?
Saint Germain is a German liqueur, which is sweet, and is a cocktail. We use it for cocktails for anything. It's a liqueur from Germany, and it's really good. It goes with everything.
Joey, what is the base?
I believe it's a wine base.
Wine base, okay.
Yes.
Okay, from Germany, a liqueur, wine base from Germany. It's called Saint Germain.
Yes.
Awesome. But that sounds
And the other
delicious.
cocktail, you know what? And another cocktail that I have is the Napa Passion, which is also it's crazy. It's like a hotcakes. We make those like a 50 a night of those because everybody asks for the cocktail because it has the X-Fusion, it has the coconut rum, and it has the strawberry with pineapple juice, and it's also delicious cocktail that everybody loves it.
And that's on the sweet side.
It's
Where
on the sweet side.
the Summer Kiss would be with the gin a little more, stronger cocktail perhaps?
Absolutely, yes.
Not as sweet, right?
Yes. And also we have another one that is really popular, the Mai Tai. The Mai Tai, the regular Mai Tai. I mean, don't forget the Mai Tai, it comes from Hawaii. Dark rum.
What's in the Mai Tai?
Huh?
What's in the Mai Tai?
The regular Mai Tai that with this regular, it's a classic Mai Tai. It's made with Myers rum. It has orange juice. It has pineapple juice. It has a little bit of grenadine. You shake it, and guess what? Bam! You drink it, delicious. And I tell you what, you put a little bit of the pineapple juice on top of it, and a piece of pineapple juice and a piece of orange with a little cherry in it. It tastes delicious, Johnny. It looks delicious. It looks good. It tastes good. I'm telling you, it's one of my cocktails that we make a lot of those too.
Well, Joey, thank you so much. As I said, we're getting in the summer, and we want to tell the audience out there what are the cocktails out there. And I tell you, that Summer Kiss sounds delicious. I'm not really a big gin drinker, but I tell you, I love Hendrick's. That's my main gin.
Hendrick is my
Hendrick's
very favorite gin. Hendrick's Martinis, that's my drink.
Exactly. Joey, thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Johnny. Well, thank you very much for having me in the show. Thank you, everybody, and have a good day.
Hey, you know what? We need to go visit Joey one day soon. Maybe he can come visit us on this coming Monday, John.
Well, why don't we have Joey for lunch next Monday, and we can talk a little more about cocktails and have an incredible lunch at the White House.
That sounds. What do you think, Joe?
It'd be great. It'd be my pleasure to be there.
All
Why
right.
not?
That's what we're going to do.
Please do. Thank you very much, and you guys have a good day. Take care.
All right. Thank you, Joey. All right, John. So if you think that's going to get you out of the wine tip for the week, you're sadly mistaken. You got 1 minute to come up with a wine of the week.
Oh, yeah, I definitely have the wine of the week. I tell you, we just had our 60th anniversary at Disneyland. And John Emmerich from Silverado. Now, Diane Miller Disney owned Silverado, and she passed, it'll be 2 years coming up November. And he came in with this rosé. And I tell you, what I love about rosés in the summertime, the best wine out there. And, Bob, do we have another segment, or is this it?
Nope, this is it, John.
Oh, gosh, Bob, I keep thinking there's another segment going on. I tell you, summertime wines, rosé is my ultimate favorite. And I tell you, Silverado has a Sangiovese rosé where you get just this beautiful red fruit coming off this wine. It is amazing. It goes for about $18 a bottle or so in the stores. But what a refreshing drink. Sitting by the pool, you get light red fruit, strawberries, like cherries coming off this. And I tell you, rosés for the summertime. I love more of old world rosés like Côte de Provence, Languedoc-Roussillon, the French, Southern French rosés for about $12, $15 a bottle. Sitting at the pool is the most refreshing wine there is. And let's stay in California. Let's do the Silverado Sangiovese Rosé for the wine pick of the week. How's that, buddy?
All right, now we're talking. All right, we've been talking to our own little old wine drinker, John Hansen, and our special guest, Joey the mixologist. Listen, you guys have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next Monday.
Sounds great, buddy.
All right, take care.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. You know, normally right now I would get into the happy birthdays and the secret teachings for your life, Harvard business tip of the day, and the interesting but useless fact. But you know what? I'm gonna postpone that to the next segment, and I want to spend this segment actually talking to my grandson Joey. So, Joey, you've been in the you've done broadcasting with me for a long time, but today we had a pretty full show. Did you have a favorite part of it? Any part of it that you liked better than another, or not really?
I really like the news. It's maybe my favorite segment in the show.
Oh, really?
Maybe interesting but useless facts. They're competing.
Well, you like current events, and you know, one of the big things about you. First of all, I should let everybody know that my grandson is 12 years old, and just turned 12 on the 4th of July. Spent his, I've mentioned it before, he celebrated his birthday in Hawaii this year with his mom and dad and his brother. And his grandmother and grandfather just didn't get an invitation. I don't know what happened to that. But in any event, we did get to celebrate his birthday with him because we went to a nice dinner at a nice restaurant and enjoyed that before we left. But he's 12 years old, and he's in the 7th grade, and one of his favorite subjects is history. So, I mean, what do you like best about history? Do you like world history, or do you like United States history? Anything particular?
World history is very interesting, and so is United States history, and I think that they go hand in hand. So I like all history. I think that it really is the longest story ever told, and it's still continuing, and it's got every aspect of another one of my favorite topics, movies. that you could ever look for. And when I try to come up with ideas for movies that never get written, but I try, usually I'm always looking at a period in history and learning and taking from that.
So, one of the things that I loved about history, and I guess every day you create new history, right? The thing that I love is that someone once coined the phrase that history repeats itself, and I'm convinced that it absolutely does. You can look back in history and apply that to certain current events and things that are going on today. And the beauty of history is that you find out what decisions you made back then and did they or did they not work, and you can apply that to the issues that are going on today. One of the things that we talked about during the news today was the nuclear deal that was going on that was arranged through this administration, the Obama administration, through John Kerry, the Secretary of State. And a lot of the legislature is saying, well, it's a bad deal, it's a bad deal, it's a bad deal. We should never be negotiating with our enemies. Well, if you look historically at it, Joey, we have negotiated with our enemies over and over and over again. We negotiated with our enemy when it was Germany. We negotiated with our enemy when it was Japan. We negotiated with our enemy when it was Russia. Remember when Ronald Reagan, you don't remember, but when Ronald Reagan was president of the United States, he was negotiating with Russia for an arms treaty, and everybody thought that was the wrong thing to do because you couldn't trust the Russians because they lied. They never told the truth. The same thing they're saying about Iran today, right? But the truth is that what President Reagan said was, yeah, you got to trust, but you got to verify. And that's exactly what this deal does. It's not a matter of trust. It's a matter of verification. These guys, they can't lie. They can't cheat because we'll know right away. So that's how history really helps you, because you know what we've done in the past, and did it work or didn't work? And if it didn't work, why didn't it work? And if it did work, what made it work? And that's the beauty of history. Besides the fact that almost every movie, there are exceptions, but almost every movie has a basis of history in it somewhere, even if it's a cartoon. It has a basis of history in it somewhere, right?
Yeah, I believe that every form of entertainment has a form of history in it.
Yeah. And so you know what? When you're in school, and history is one of your biggest things. Matter of fact, you really like medieval history a lot, don't you? Or not as much as you used to?
It's one of my favorites. I'm very interested in the culture of the medieval times.
So,
social
like
status.
the Knights of the Round Table and that kind of stuff.
Well, there's dispute whether or not he existed.
The Knights of the Round Table?
Not the Knights of the Round Table, but the Camelot.
Oh.
But I find that the social structure of medieval times is very interesting, and how the classes varied so far. Yeah. And the different medical advances of the day are just amazing.
So in medieval times, they had an upper class and they had a lower class, and there was no middle class, right?
Yeah. There were noble people, but they were very much upper class.
Yeah.
They were the most you got. You're either dying of plague or living in a castle. If not both.
So you're moving into the 7th grade here in a couple of weeks. Are there any new subjects that are going to be exciting for you, or just the same old stuff?
Medieval times.
Oh, that's a new thing for you?
It hasn't been fully taught as a full subject until the 7th grade. Our entire 7th grade curriculum in history is going to be based in medieval times, or at least most of it.
Do you think we learned anything from medieval history that helps us today in the modern world?
I think medically, yes. We had advances in anatomy and things like that. Culturally, I think we learned to not have a huge wealth gap, because it ends up bad for both parties. Right.
So the one thing we learned is that we need to have a middle class.
Yeah, we need to have a middle class.
Yeah. That makes all the sense in the world to me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So We have to go on a commercial break. When we come back, I'll still be with my grandson, Joey, but we're going to talk about the birthdays for today. We're going to talk about the secret teachings for your life, the Harvard Business Tip of the Day, and my favorite, interesting but useless facts. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay a great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 5:52 p.m. Pacific time. It's gone down 1 degree. It's now 87 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, you know what today is? Yep, you got it right. It's somebody's birthday. And you know what, boy, this was a beautiful woman. She was born in 1938, died in 1981, following her film debut in 1943. She became a successful child actor in such films as Miracle, on 34th Street. Happy birthday to Natalie Wood. And it's also Terry Irwin's birthday. She was born in 1964, a naturalist, author, and widow of Australian naturalist Steve Irwin, and owner of the Australia Zoo. And then finally, born in 1969, an actor and former model best known for his role as Sawyer on the television show Lost. Happy birthday to Josh Holloway. Well, what happened today in history? Well, on July the 20th, in 1881, Chief Sitting Bull leads the last of his fugitive people in surrender to the United States troops. And in 1903, on this date, the Ford Motor Company shipped its very first car, 1903. And then finally, in 1921, airmail service between New York City and San Francisco was instituted. There you go, right? So think about that. 1921, not that long ago, Joe. 95 years? About, right? 96? Well, our quote for today comes from Horace Walpole. How'd you like to have a name like that? Horace Walpole.
I've never heard of him.
Yep, no, I don't think anybody else has, but I got to give him credit because he said this thing. Anyway, he says, "The world is a tragedy to those who feel, but a comedy to those who think."
It's true.
That's profound. Yeah, that's something. That's something. Well, you know what? Let's talk about that secret daily teachings for your life. This is all about a positive mental attitude. You know, you can have a positive attitude that a train is going to hit you. You can have a positive attitude that you're going to drown. This is all about a positive mental attitude in a positive way that affects your life. I can guarantee you it will make your life better and the lives of everyone you touch better for it. It's a positive mental attitude. That's what these secrets are all about. And today's secret is you get to fill the blackboard of your life with whatever you want. If you have filled it in with baggage from the past, wipe it clean. Erase everything from the past that does not serve you and be grateful it brought you to this place right now and to a new beginning. You have a clean slate and you can start over right here, right now. Find your joy and live it. That's the secret for today. Don't let anybody rain on your parade. Have that positive mental attitude. Well, time for the Harvard Business Tip of the Day. And the management tip today is manage conflict at work by identifying the cause. We've all experienced conflict at work. Most of us get a sinking feeling. Uh-oh, we're in a fight. Or she's definitely mad at me. And we usually do one of two things. Either ignore the issue or confront the person. But this isn't a productive or healthy way to address the problem. You have to pause to understand what's at the root of the disagreement. There are four main types of conflict: relationship, a personal disagreement, task, disagreement over what the goal is, or process, disagreement over the means or process for achieving a goal, and status, disagreement over your standing in a group. Thinking about these categories will help you figure out what's actually happening when you get into a conflict, even when your disagreement doesn't neatly fit into a bucket. Once you know what's causing the problem, you can decide how to address it effectively. That is the management tip of the day. All right, Joe, it's time for interesting
but useless facts.
But useless facts. You got it. I should have put a sound effect in there or something like that, right? Let me see if I can do that real quick. Where is that doggone thing? Oh, there it is. Let's try that. Interesting but useless facts. Okay, now we're back to normal. You know, it didn't work out the way I thought it would work, but what the heck. So anyway, you know, Wheel of Fortune star Vanna White. You know who that is? She's the gal that turns the puzzle things. Holds the record for putting her hands together approximately 140,000 times to clap.
So, like...
Yeah, 140,000 times she claps. She holds a record for it. How about this? In Brayton, Alabama, there's a law against riding down the street in a motorboat. Can you imagine some of the stupid laws, Joey, that are out there? In a motorboat. And there's a law. It's against the law. You can't ride down the street in a motorboat. How about this?
What? Who made?
Yeah, some legislator, Joe.
But why, though? What inspired that law?
That was dumb. How about this? Women's hearts beat faster than men's. Interesting. Here's one for you. In Nevada, it is illegal to ride a camel on the highway.
Another one. How are these inspired?
It's crazy, right? Okay, let me give you one last one. The only member of the British House of Commons who is not allowed to speak is a man called the Speaker of the House. And with that, I want to thank you for listening to Robert Cardoza Live at the intersection of business and politics. Robert Cardoza Live broadcasts on Spreaker Radio, Blog Talk Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. I also broadcast on Roar 1776 Radio and Live 365 Radio every Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. And please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com and email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com. It's where I get all the emails I deal with here on the show. On my next show, my expert contributor is going to be Suzette Mailer with her series, The IFAV Travel Corner. My special guest is Sean Lefebvre, talking healthcare on his Geared for Wellness Corner. I encourage you to tell all of your friends about my show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network. And I want to thank my grandson, Joey, for being with me today. He's just always a joy to be with. He actually exercises with me every morning. So, Joey, thank you so very much.
You're very welcome.
Good.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then, when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed today's show as much as I enjoyed producing it for you. Don't forget to stay safe, stay happy, and be good. And you know what? Good night, everybody, and good night, Joey. Thank you. I love you, buddy.
Good night.
And I love you, too.
I love you, too.
Okay.